What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Today we have an abundance of topics. So how you guys doing today? If you guys are in the chat, let me know. Say something so that we can get this ball rolling. Today is Chop It Up, episode 4. We have not been here for a while. So because of this, I've decided to return. How are you guys doing on this hot Saturday evening for some, maybe night for others? How are we doing today? We got an abundance of topics. So let's go ahead and get into it. If you got any questions, drop them in the chat. Hey, it's 3 in the morning. 2 in the morning. All right. What's up, James, man? I appreciate you for popping in. If you need to go to sleep, I completely understand. But hey, I'm just doing my due diligence. I was supposed to get on an hour earlier, but I just couldn't make it because I had things to do. Got home late, so on and so forth, all that cool stuff. But I appreciate you for popping in and saying hi. Thank you, James, the MVP, every once in a while. All right, so my first opening topic is Oppenheimer, which is Nolan's new movie. Some have described it as a horror movie. Nolan also himself states that this is one of his best movies or highlight of his career. And this man has done a Dark Knight series. He's done Interstellar, Dunkirk, Inception, so on, right? So at one of the screenings of Oppenheimer, it was a lot of audience members were talking about how devastated they were, how hurt they were, and how terrified they were of this movie. Basically, they were saying that it just hurt them in such a way when they watched the movie. And I mean, when you really think about, let's dig deep into this movie. It's about the creation of the atomic bomb. And I don't know, I haven't seen this movie myself, so I don't know what it is they've done in this movie, what they show in this movie. But at the same time, like, it really makes me curious. It makes me curious about how this movie relates to horror because, like I said, this is Nolan's words. Nolan says that this movie is somewhat of a horror movie, and the fact that this movie was filmed in IMAX 65 millimeter, he's saying that it gives an audience member the true feeling of being there. So, with that being said, is this going to be feeling like us, like actually being a part of an atomic bomb? You know what I'm saying? Are we going to actually see what happens at Hiroshima and Nagasaki? I know definitely we're going to get the atomic bomb testing. I know we're going to get that for sure because that's in the trailer. But it makes me curious about how the horror elements are coming into this movie. How is the horror elements going to come into this movie? But like I said, Nolan, he described it as that. And then also there was an author named Kai Bird who also went to the premiere or to the screening of this movie. And he also was talking about how devastated he was after leaving the film and how terrified he was. And he's hoping that this film will open up conversations between the nations to talk about the nuclear arms. Because let's be honest here, like a lot of countries own nuclear weapons, and a lot of these nuclear weapons could do vast amounts of devastation to the world. And with that being said, you kind of got to have that stuff on the holster. You get what I'm saying? Because we don't want a nuclear war to break out. James, nah, bro, love your stuff. It's a big war film. Isn't that the point? To make you feel bad about the bomb, about the A bomb? Yeah, I mean, is it really supposed to make you feel bad about it, or is it supposed to just take you down a journey, a historical journey about what transpires in this film? You know what I mean? I don't know. I just, man, I think just the fact that this movie is based on true events is going to terrify an audience. You get what I'm saying? Like, and when you leave the movie, and I'm assuming that you're going to know the devastating power of the atomic bomb, then you're going to start to think about, man, we've advanced even further than that. You know what I'm saying? We've gotten even further than this. So the amount of power that was, achievable back then is nothing like what's achievable now. That joint going to be a blast. Yep, per mine, I completely agree. That's another one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I really think that movie's going to be really good. Dude, I've studied history. I'm just saying. I mean, I know you're a history buff, James. I know you're a history buff. I know you like history. So, I mean, I like history too. History's my thing. But again, I'm just wondering how far are they going to go with this movie in order to really terrify audiences. The fact that people are leaving the theater and saying that they felt some type of way, to me, that says a lot. That means that what Nolan was trying to achieve in this movie, I think he actually got there. You know what I mean? So that's just me. What do you guys think? Perp, James, are you guys excited to see this movie? Are you guys going to see this movie? Me personally, I am. I'm definitely going to go see this movie. What about you guys? You guys going to see this movie? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I am for sure. Nah, definitely. I mean, to me, most definitely, I'm going to try to see that. Yeah. See, here's the thing. We used to have a movie called The ArcLight, and they had a really big screen, huge screen. It was, I forgot what it was called. It was called the Dome or something. One of the most massive screens in like LA, and they closed it. So now we don't have the opportunity to go see movies on that huge screen anymore. It's a shame. It's really a shame. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely try to see it in the biggest IMAX uh, screen possible. Question: What do you got? Who do you guys think is gonna win opening weekend? Barbie or Oppenheimer? Let me know in the comments below. Barbie or Oppenheimer? Who do you think is gonna take it? The box office weekend. My vote. Oh, Barbie. You think? It's weird because I feel like Barbie's promotion hasn't really been as crazy as I thought it would be. I really felt like the promotion for Barbie would have been a little bit more, I don't know. I really feel like it should just be more Barbie just because of the runtime. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. I'm also thinking Barbie too, mainly because it could go both ways. It could go for an adults. It can go for kids. I think it could go either way, and that's what makes it more like palatable by all audiences. But do me a favor, make sure you guys are liking this video while you guys are here. If you have not done so already, make sure you do that for your boy. And honestly, the meta. All right. But let's go ahead and let's jump into the second comment or the second topic. Perp minded, I think that plays out to be a good double feature. So if you're going to see Oppenheimer first, you can cleanse your palate with yeah, right. So like if you see Oppenheimer and it just makes you like leaves you like super depressed and sad, you're just gonna be like, you know what, let me go see Barbie. Maybe that'll spice up my day. Um that's actually a really good idea. So my second topic is Bruce Campbell announces retirement, right? The actor seemingly joking on Twitter said for his 65th birthday that okay, I'm 65 today. Time to retire, I guess. Thanks for watching. I mean, this sounds like the super comedic elements of Bruce Campbell. But even though in 2018 he already announced that he retired from playing Ash, but there was one horror icon who responded to him by simply saying, "Don't you dare." And that horror icon is none other than Stephen King himself. Stephen King or Stephen King or whatever the hell he wants to call himself. He basically came out and said, "Bruce Campbell, don't you dare." Now, here's the question I want to pose. Is Bruce Campbell really to the point where he's untouchable, where we can't, like, if he says he's retired, is that really a bad thing? Do we really think that? Because me personally, Bruce Campbell retiring is kind of hit or miss for me. He hasn't really done anything for quite some time now. I'm not sure how long it's been since the Ash show, Ash and the Evil Dead TV show was on, but I feel like it's been some time now. And honestly, Bruce Campbell hasn't done really anything since that show. I mean, he canceled his Monster Palooza trip to apparently because he was going to record something. But what he was going to record, who freaking knows? I don't know. I didn't even know he was doing anything in film. But he said it was scheduling conflicts, meaning I guess like I'm assuming he had some sort of filming thing that he was supposed to do. And because of that, he kind of pulled out of Monster Palooza. So I kind of hope to see like what in the world Bruce Campbell's up to, because we haven't seen anything from him in a while. I like, it was really cool to see him in damn, what was it called? The movie where he played Elvis. Damn. What is that movie? Oh, Bubba Hotep. It was fun to watch him in that movie. I want to see more goofy Bruce movies, and it doesn't have to necessarily be Evil Dead. It could be anything. I kind of just want to see Bruce Campbell back on the screen, and that's just my opinion. I mean, what else could he really do? He's not really popping out outside of Evil Dead, respectfully. That's true. Like he doesn't really do anything outside of Evil Dead. Like I said, the last time I seen Bruce was in fucking Bubba Hotep, and the Evil Dead TV show, which is cool. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, you gotta ask yourself, like, what has Bruce really done to really kind of warrant us to care about him retiring or not? Like, me personally, like, I don't think him retiring is a big deal. If he decided to retire from film altogether, sure we'll miss him, but at the same time, I don't think he's really done much in cinema to warrant me to care as much as I would think he would want us to. But yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, I could take it or leave it, man. I love Bruce, funny guy, does some work, but at the same time, outside of Evil Dead, I don't really see like what more he can do. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Bubba Hotep was fun. I was hoping that he would do more stuff like that. He can honestly do a whole lot of horror comedy, and I feel like he kind of just doesn't really venture outside of that box. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Bruce is kind of like leaving a whole avenue of things that could be explored. Example: Robert Englund when he was on Stranger Things. It was really cool to see Robert Englund make a cameo on Stranger Things as a freaking Vecna's dad or whatever. So I would like to see Bruce do more stuff like that, popping up on different series, popping up in different horror movies. Like, even if it's just a cameo, it'll be cool to see him. You know what I mean? So that's all I got for the Bruce Campbell thing. I just thought it was really interesting that this man got on Twitter and said that for his 65th anniversary, you know what, I'm retiring. And Stephen King was like, nah, don't you dare do that. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's that topic right there. Moving on to the next topic. How many of you guys are prepared and ready for? Hey, Miss T, how you doing? Appreciate you for stopping by, swinging through. Always love your input and your company. Next topic is Mortal Kombat. How many guys out there are ready for Mortal Kombat? Mortal Kombat 2, the film. Now, apparently, the producers listened to fans about all the complaints they had about the previous Mortal Kombat movie. Fans were very upset with well, me personally, I know I was upset with that movie. A lot of people didn't like Cole. I didn't really care about Cole, but there was a whole lot of other things I didn't like about that movie. Honestly, most of my complaints I can't even remember. If you want to find out, you're going to have to go and watch my damn review because it's been a while. But yeah, I remember not liking a whole lot of things about that Mortal Kombat movie. I just definitely remember that the best thing were the kills and the story between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. It really upset me and really made me sad that they didn't explore that more. That was some of the best storytelling, some of the best martial arts, and it's sad that we didn't really get to explore that more. It really just kind of felt like a waste of their time. But Scorpion and Sub-Zero definitely were like the best aspects of that damn movie, and it's sad that we didn't really get to explore that more. But apparently the producers listened to us when we complained and said how whack that damn movie was. So producer Todd Garner stated that he's excited for the film and that he's listened to fans' criticism to make part 2 even better. Now, he also says don't hit him up, spamming him and bothering him or harassing him because he will block your black ass. That's what he said, word for word, verbatim. No, I'm just joking. He didn't say that. But now he did say that if you guys are harassing him online, he will block you. But some of the characters announced for Mortal Kombat 2 have been Carl Urban as Johnny Cage, which I'm kind of like meh about. Tati Gabriella as Jade, don't know who she is. Edelyn Rudolph as Katana, don't know who she is. And then the win as Sindel, don't know who she is. Martin Ford as Shao Kahn, don't know who he is. So, but I mean, I do know who the characters are, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy to hear Johnny Cage is in it. Jade is in it. Katana's in it. Like, I like the masked ninjas. They're always dope. It's cool to see that Shao Kahn is probably going to be the main villain in this movie. And also we have the return of Jax, Sonya, and Liu Kang, Sub-Zero, and Cole Young from the first movie, right? So it's really cool that they've added new people into the movie, but at the same time, they brought in some of the people that actually survived from the previous movie, right? Am I excited about this movie? Hell no. The first movie really bothered me and it left a huge bad taste in my mouth. And personally, like, I really felt like that movie could have been better. I don't remember exactly what I hated about that damn movie, but I can guarantee you that it was something. It was something that I hated. I think it was like something about they had to get like a little stupid. I remember it was something with a dragon or something, and they had to like activate it in order to get their powers. Jax was like the stupid little, like he had little toothpick arms. He was like little tink tink, and all of a sudden he got like he did something to activate his powers, and then it made it big. It was just stupid that every character had to activate their powers. Kano had to freaking activate his powers. It was just, I didn't like that. I really wasn't digging that whole like, oh, find your power. You know, to me it was really stupid. Um, and the storyline to me was really dumb. Like it just felt dragged out. The acting was really terrible, and I don't know, man. Like it's that movie in no shape, form, or fashion topped the freaking '95 version at all. The '95 version shit on that movie so bad, and maybe even I might even be as bold to say that Annihilation might be better than that. Now, I mean, that's me just being a douche. I'm not really being serious about that, but yes, the storytelling in that movie was not good, and I remember I didn't even like Liu Kang in that movie. Liu Kang is supposed to be the main focus, and it was really weird to take this. I know that why they did it, and they had Cole's character, and they wanted you to see this through somebody else's eyes, but at the same time, like I just didn't like it, man. I really didn't like the way that they told that movie, and they kind of side busted all the main characters. What's your favorite male and female Mortal Kombat character? Favorite male character definitely has to be Scorpion or Sub Zero. Honestly, look, male characters, you can give me any of the ninjas. I love the ninjas in Mortal Kombat. Female characters, let's see. I used to mess people up with Jade. I used to mess people up with Jade. I used to get down with Jade. I liked her character. And then it was just like, you know what? I kind of like the mass female ninjas too. So like Melina, Katana, Jade. You had Frost. Frost was tight. You also had what's the blood chick name? Scarlet. You had her. It was just cool. It was just really. I remember Tanya was the little yellow chick in Mortal Kombat 4. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, any of those characters is cool, but if I had to pick one, it's probably gonna be Jade and Scorpion. Those were my go-tos, especially in the newer games. The newer games, I definitely pick Jade and Scorpion. But yeah, how you guys feeling about this? You guys, are you feeling that happy that Jade and Katana is in the movie? That Shao Kahn's probably going to be the big bad in the movie. What else? Who else did they add? Are you happy that Johnny Cage is now in this movie? A lot of people were upset that Johnny Cage didn't make it into the other movie. Johnny Cage not being in the other movie wasn't really a deal breaker for me, but at the same time, I do understand why people were upset that Johnny Cage was not in that movie. It really should we should have really followed Liu Kang, Sonya, Johnny Cage, maybe Jax in their journey to like kind of like defeat Outworld. Kind of like how the first movie was formatted. It was kind of disappointing the direction that they went and what we got. It was kind of crappy, but yeah, I wasn't really too happy about that. Great question, Renamon. Great question. How you guys feeling about Mortal Kombat? Are you guys happy that some of these characters were announced? Are you happy that Johnny Cage is in this movie? You know what I'm saying? Like, I need Johnny Cage to do his infamous nut punch. He has to do it, hands down. You know what I'm saying? Also, there's like rumors that Noob Saibot might be in this movie. Noob is also one of my low-key favorite characters. I always thought it was really cool when I used to play Ultimate Mortal Kombat 4, and you just had this freaking shadow just running around and just like the little footsteps like running towards the people. And he had that cool thing where you could hit him with the little cloud thing, and it made him like transparent. It was really weird. Mine are Natara and Johnny Cage. Isn't Natara the Bat Lady? Was Natara the Bat Lady? I haven't played that in a while, but I believe Natara was the little vampire chick, right? But yeah, see what they need to do is they need to remaster what was it called? Mortal Kombat Apocalypse, the one that had every single character from every game. That would be tight. But you gotta remaster. Like I hated the fact that they gave you a like their fatality thing. Like nobody had like their own fatality. What everybody had was like you had to do that stupid button fatality thing where it was like each button, like you hit them and you hit them and you hit them and you might rip off an arm, and you rip off the other arm, and you might crack their neck, and then it stops your fatality. Like I always thought that was really stupid. Yeah, she was in Deadly Alliance. Deadly Alliance is low key is a sleeper game. That was a good game. But when you really think about Deadly Alliance, like how much sense did that make? Liu Kang was like the supreme, like I'm gonna whoop everybody ass, and he got jumped by Shang Tsung and Quan Chi, and he ended up getting killed. And Liu Kang had absolutely no backup. Also, how you guys feeling about Mortal Kombat 1 that Liu Kang is now the fire guy and like Raiden is kind of like a background character now? Raiden and Kung Lao are kind of like Raiden kind of took Liu Kang's place and Liu Kang took Raiden's place. They kind of swapped places. How y'all feeling about that? But I do like Fire King Liu Kang's fatality. I think it's very sick. But his character seems hella OP. You know what I'm saying? Because he seems like he have access to like the time thing. But yeah, good Mortal Kombat conversation. Great Mortal Kombat conversation. One more question rolled in. The only thing I remember from Deadly Alliance is cooking with Scorpion. Yeah. Oh, cooking with Scorpion. That's hilarious. Yeah, dude. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance was fun though. Like that was a fun game. That was low key one of my favorites. And then eventually we got Zombie Liu Kang. They were so desperate to bring Liu Kang back to life, they brought him back as a damn zombie. Next topic. Starting the plot for the next Star Wars film is revealed. We have Daisy Ridley supposedly going to star in the next Star Wars movie, right? She's supposed to headline it, and the movie's going to be centered around her and kind of like raising new Jedi's, right? And the supposedly title that they're running with is Star Wars: The New Jedi Order. First of all, how do you guys feel about that title? I'm not digging that title too much. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not really digging the title, but let's go ahead and get into the synopsis. Now, this is supposedly a synopsis that was leaked, all right? Set roughly 15 years after Rey's victory over Palpatine at the end of Star Wars, which was the stupidest ending ever. The sequel delves into Rey's courageous endeavors to restore the Jedi Order, where she assumes the role of a mentor to two promising young students, a girl and a boy. As her training progresses, it becomes evident that the girl possesses extraordinary abilities destined to emerge as the future leader. Now, that last part is going to piss a whole lot of people off, right? The young girl is destined to emerge as the future leader. That I don't know why that's going to piss people off, all right? Because people were already kind of mad that Rey was like a Mary Sue. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Leia, like she kind of was. Luke kind of came up into the scene and thought he was big badass, and then kind of like got his arm chopped off. So he kind of got knocked down a pedestal, and he wasn't that man off top. He really had to go out and train and just good to get to the level where he needed to get to in order to defeat Vader, right? And even then, like Vader was whooping his ass. But the point of the matter is this: we're going to have this new Star Wars movie where Rey is training two new Jedi's, a young boy and a young girl. You already know that people are going to be very upset that the young girl is basically giving the nod and the blessings to be eventually the new main lead. Now, do I have a problem with this? Depends, right? My problem with it depends solely on one thing. How do you do it? You know what I'm saying? If this character organically can be likable and have an actual good story that makes sense, and the reasoning behind her being so damn strong makes sense, then possibly I would be on board with that. But you have to make the character likable. You have to make the character cool. And that's very hard to do with young Star Wars characters. I'm sorry to tell you this, but them younglings be annoying as hell. I remember watching when I saw episode 1, young Anakin pissed me off beyond belief. I didn't like him as a character. He annoyed shit out of me. And I mean, just even young watching the Obi-Wan show and young Leia annoyed the shit out of me. These young characters just annoy me, and Star Wars has yet to make a likable young character, and I don't think that that's going to change with this. But let's just say that they do, right? The character has to be done correctly. It has to make sense why this character is so strong, right? It has to make sense why this person is given the keys to the kingdom. You have to make it make sense. If it doesn't make sense, then you're screwed. Then people are going to get mad, people are going to get upset, and people are going to hate your damn movie. Rey's character was unlikable, right? That's number one. Number two, her backstory didn't make any sense. And the fact that they changed her backstory several times within the context of the damn movies, you're hinting at her being related to Obi-Wan. Then she turns around and be a Palpatine. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any damn sense. I just don't. And then she has absolutely no training as a Jedi. And essentially, she doesn't get any training to almost the end of the second movie. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not digging it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really digging it. I heard the boy and a girl are Kylo Ren and Rey's son and daughter. Not sure if that will be true or a rumor. That would be very, very odd, my friend. That would be very weird, but I guess. Oh my God, that would suck. That would be too damn predictable. Like, that is such an atypical storyline. Like, isn't there a part in the movie where there's a boy sweeping and he goes like this, and then the stupid broom comes into his hand? Like, what happened to him? Like, shouldn't we be focused on him? Like, they had that there for a reason. Why aren't we adventuring that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so stupid. Like, they went over this whole thing about bloodlines being attached to how strong you are as a Jedi, and then turned around and was like, "Oh, it doesn't matter." Like, and then with that boy in the stupid broom, it made it seem like it could be fucking anybody, right? And then we turn around and then Ray had to have a bloodline. They went from Ray might be related to somebody, Ray's not related to somebody, so Ray is actually related to somebody, but it's not who you think it is. And that's the thing that I've also always hated about Star Wars. It's so freaking inconsistent. They're so inconsistent with their storytelling. It's horrible. It's atrocious. And I really don't think it's going to change. They need a better team of people behind them if they want to make these movies actually good. These movies are not good. They haven't been good for a while. And let's go ahead and look at some of the freaking numbers, for Christ's sake. The Force Awakenings made the most money. I think it made like $800, almost $900 million, right? Close to $1 billion. And then you had the second one, The Last Jedi, which made about $600 million, right? Still good money. And then you had the last one, the stupid Rise of the Skywalkers, made about $500 million. Even though it's like a $500 million, it's still showing that the character that you chose to lead your movie is not likable, and that is literally resulting in box office shambles. People really just went to see that movie just to be like, let me just see how this story ends. Let me see if they can end this story on a good note. Like, I heard the rumors and I heard the writing on the wall, and I just was like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, this ain't as bad as they thought. It's no way in hell. When I read the synopsis and I read all the leaks and stuff like that, I thought they were lying. I honestly, God, thought they were lying. And when I found out that all of those leaks were absolutely true, I was floored. I couldn't believe it. That was some of the worst writing I've ever seen in my life. What they need to do is they need to get somebody to pin it well, and then that person that pins it has to be there for all three movies, because it's supposed to be a new trilogy. You can't just have one person do it and then all of a sudden, like, nobody else. Then they pick somebody else to do the next one. Then you pick somebody else to do the other one. And then it's like you have them jumbling the stories again, like the stupid Skywalker trilogy that was terrible, right? You had Kylo Ren, who was a horrible villain. You had and then his boss, who was a nobody. I can't even remember his name. The dude died in the second movie, which was stupid. They built him up to be such a fierce character, and then dude died like that. You know what I'm saying? It was the stupidest thing ever. They hyped that man up for nothing. But anyway, yeah, so how are we feeling about this Star Wars news? How are we feeling about these leaks? Because honestly, man, like, I'm not really digging it. Like, it could be a lot better. And I'm telling you now, I'm calling it now. The fact that that the girl is the one showing a lot more potential than the boy is going to rub people the wrong way. I personally don't care if as long as it's done correctly. I don't care if it's a boy or a girl. But at the same time, I really think that if it's not done correctly, it is going to be terrible. And I'm almost certain that it's going to be done incorrectly. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be terrible. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be it's going to be pandering. Like, that's what I think. I think it's going to be pandering as hell. Moving on to my next topic, if we don't have any commentary on Star Wars, any commentary about Star Wars, any at all. All right, I'm about to move on to my next topic. Next topic coming in. All right, so next topic coming in. I really think this is a really good. This is more like a dialogue. It's more like a discussion. I'm basically about to have with myself. I read this article, and in this article it stated Marvel is out, Michael Myers is in, right? And this was written by a guy at We Got This Covered. He was a journalist. His name is Jordan Collin. And then it says Marvel's out, Michael Myers is in, as echoed so poetically by Jordan Collins. As of late, it's certainly no secret that the MCU and newly reformed DCU are suffering at the box office, all while horror spectacles such as The Boogeyman and Evil Dead Rises are enjoying excellent outings and earning significant praise. So basically what my man is saying is that he's saying that superhero fatigue is real, right? Which I agree somewhat, right? There is definitely superhero fatigue, but the thing is, a lot of that is erased simply by good characters, right? You have Spider-Man and Batman. Those two characters alone are going to put asses in seats. Those, like, I don't care who you are. If you're Spider-Man and Batman, they're the two most beloved characters around the world. You say Spider-Man, you say Batman, people are going to know exactly who you're talking about. So those two characters, they put asses in the seats. You're going to make money regardless. Like, that's no ifs, ands, or buts. You know, like, there's nothing about it, right? There's nothing different about it. But anyway, so The first thing that I've noticed is they were saying like superhero fatigue is real, and they were saying that horror movies are basically replacing uh, MCU movies as the go-to movies. Now, I agree and I kind of don't agree, right? You have movies like Megan, which rank in a shitload of money. You have movies like Evil Dead Rises, which ranked in a nice amount of money. In fact, Evil Dead Rises made 146 million on a $20 million budget, which is amazing. You have movies like Terrifier, which made about 15 million on a like couple $100,000 budget, which is amazing, right? And it's crazy because when you really think about it in retrospect, but then you have like the Boogeyman, right? The Boogeyman, it's so sad that they mentioned the Boogeyman. The Boogeyman has like a $30 million budget and it made about $56 million. All right. Now, I don't know why the hell they mentioned the Boogeyman. They should have stayed with Evil Dead Rises and they could have went a whole nother direction, but they mentioned the Boogeyman. Now, another thing that they said is Marvel is out, Michael Myers is in. And I want to just like hit a nail on the head real quick. Michael Myers is in. I'm going to look at the last three Halloween movies. I'm going to look at their box office success. Now, Halloween 2018 made about 259 million with the $10 million budget. That is freaking amazing. All right. That's like almost 25 times his budget, almost 26 times his budget. That's an amazing feat. Kudos to them for doing that. Like serious shit. Like that's amazing. They made a whole lot of money. Halloween Kills made 131 million on a $20 million budget. You know what I'm saying? That's really good. That's about 6 times his budget, right? Now Halloween Ends made about 104 million on a 33 million budget, which is about 3 times his budget, which is also really good. But at the same time, you can see that number diminishing, which actually shows you that the movies are starting to suck more. But then also the fact that Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, I'm actually surprised they raked in that much money, and for the fact that they were also offered on Peacock while simultaneously being in theaters. So that's actually amazing that they brought in that much money. All right, so that shows that Halloween, yes, Halloween is a moneymaker. Michael Myers is out here making money. All right, but at the same time, let's go ahead and look at what Guardians of the Galaxy 3 on a $250 million budget. They made about 825 million. All right, so that's like, I want to say that's like almost 3.5 times his budget. You know what I'm saying? And then you had Ant-Man 3, which was a box office blunder. It made 76 million on a $200 million budget. So it only made like 2 times his money. That definitely was a financial loss. And you have Wakanda Forever, which made 859 million on a $250 million budget. It made about let's say about 3 almost. It made it made about almost four times his budget. And then you have Thor: Love and Thunder, which made 760 million on a 250 budget. So it made about I want to say almost 3 times his budget, right? And then when you look at the properties of DC only success was the Batman, which brought in about 770 million. But Black Adam, Shazam 2, DC Superhero Pets, they were not very successful in the box office at all, right? So with that being said, when we're comparing like me myself, I actually have superhero fatigue. I don't like superhero movies like that. Like I go watch them, I have fun watching them, but at the same time, I'm not going to just stop what I'm doing and go watch every movie. At one time, low key, I was, because I used to want to go watch the Marvel movies because you wanted to see the continuity, but the quality of the Marvel movies has went down. Now you have DC, which is kind of like giving the keys over to James Gunn, and he's kind of like finishing off their last DCEU universe, and then kind of like shepherding in a new universe with the DCU, with a brand new Superman movie and a brand new Batman movie. So he has yet to actually bat. There is no DCU yet for them to actually kind of guess about how much money they're going to make. But the fact that they're starting off with Batman and Superman, definitely probably going to make a lot of money. But yeah, superhero fatigue is real. Like superhero movies are not as good as they used to. They're not really deep. But that's also at the same time, like, let's give it a buck here. There's not really deep. The horror movies aren't really deep as well either. I love horror movies. I'm a huge super horror fan, as you can see behind me. You know, I love the cheesiness. I love the campiness. I love all of that stuff. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and act like horror movies are like reinventing the wheel. Most of the horror movies coming out nowadays are remakes of something else, or the reboot sequels or something like that. We do have original horror movies coming from Blumhouse, and Blumhouse makes a shit ton of money, dude. Blumhouse makes 10 times his budget on some of these movies, 5 times his budget on sometimes these movies. Sometimes with these movies, you had Smile, which was a huge success. You had Megan, which was a huge success. You know what I'm saying? And these movies are spawning hella sequels, and they're going to spawn hella sequels as long as they're being, as long as they're good. If they keep making money, they're gonna keep dropping sequels. Shout outs to Fast X. Anyway, but I can't say that horror movies are replacing superhero movies. There's not. It hasn't been as consistent as superhero movies. Like I feel like there has to be like a huge time frame in which horror movies are just killing it in the box office, and I haven't really seen that enough. I mean, there was one moment like the earlier phases of Marvel where Marvel was killing it. It was making so much money every year. It was crazy. It was like they couldn't even miss. Each and every single one of their movies made tons of fucking money. You know what I'm saying? And with horror movies, it's really just hit or miss. It's just the fact that a lot of these movies are made with small budgets. They're able to make a whole lot of their money back, you know, and they don't really have to make much in order to earn their budget back. So it's kind of hard to say like, yo, like horror movies are like they're the new thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's replacing that it's going to replace like Marvel movies. I really wish it would because Marvel movies aren't really that good. And to be honest with you, like I haven't enjoyed a Marvel movie in a long time. Like I haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But hold on, let me look up something. I haven't watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I'm sure as hell not watching Thor. So these movies just aren't really gathering my attention. But I mean, looking at some of the highest grossing horror movies of all time so far as It Chapter 1 was 700 million. You have The Sixth Sense, which came out in 99 at 672 million. You have I Am Legend, 200. It's not even horror like that. 585 million. You have World War Z, 540 million. You have It Chapter 2, 473 million. You get what I'm saying? Like that was like five of the top highest grossing horror movies, and it hasn't been one since. These movies are making a shit ton of money, but at the same time, they're not making a whole lot. You got Hannibal, 351 million. You got The Nun, 365 million. You got Prometheus, 403 million. You got Signs, 408 million. You got The Exorcist, 73, 441 million. And then that's when the It Chapter 2 and everything else comes in at. I mean, these are some of these are big budget movies like World War Z, I Am Legend. Uh Sixth Sense was pretty big budget. Was it? I don't know. I gotta look into that. But I think Six Signs was really pushed really hard, you know. But I'm surprised. Okay, Hannibal, original Hannibal. I don't know why I thought Hannibal Rising, but the point of the matter is we haven't seen a big budget horror movie in a long ass time. You know what I'm saying? And horror doesn't really need to be a big budget phenomenon, but I will say that horror does need to have some qualities to make it watchable. You know what I'm saying? It has to have a good story. You have to have interesting kills or interesting scares, and you have to keep your audience captivated. Do I think horror movies are taking the place of Marvel movies or superhero movies? Not at all. We have a long way before we get that. We have to have a whole lot of consistency in order to do that. I mean, we have to have a whole year where every single horror movie seems like it hits. And the fact that again that the author named the Boogeyman, which made which barely made his money back. Like it made double his budget, so that means that it's in the green finally. You get what I'm saying? So it's not even in the green yet. It's made above its budget, but for something to be in the green, it has to at least make double its budget. You know what I'm saying? And that movie, The Boogeyman, has not done that yet. You know, and like I said, shout outs to Blumhouse, shout outs to them merging with what's that fool's name? James Wan's company and making like a big horror house. But at the same time, like, you know, hey, we gotta like y'all gotta do something. y'all gotta put out some big hitters. But I want original big hitters, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. That's just what I think. But what do you guys think about some of the news that we had today? How are you guys feeling? Do you think that horror movies are replacing Marvel movies? I definitely don't think so. I don't think we're there yet. Do I think they can? Of course, but we have to have an abundance of really good horror movies, and it has to be consistent, and they have to consistently make money. You know what I mean? Like the thing about horror is it thrives from word of mouth. So a movie could be like think about Terrifier, right? Terrifier, perfect example of word of mouth. that was a super small budget, small theater release. And simply because of word of mouth, that movie started spreading. More people started talking about it. People started buzzing about it. And then all of a sudden, that movie made like ridiculously times its budget. It was made for a couple 100,000 and ended up making 15 million. You know what I'm saying? So you have to really take into account that these movies, they need to be good and they need to have a good word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So I just wanted to hit you guys with, I had to hit you guys with a chop it up episode 4. I want to do these consistently. I'm gonna do them at 5 o'clock. I just had to do it at 6 o'clock today because of timing. But at the same time, I'm going to try to rock with you guys every weekend. It was dope with you guys that could pull up with me, could talk to me, could hang out with me. I appreciate it. Shout out to James, shout out to Perp Minded, shout out to Miss T, shout out to Renamon. Thank you guys for pulling up on me and supporting me during the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed some of the topics that I chose. But it's time to end the stream. So now this is the end of Chop It Up episode number 4. I'll try to come back next week with Chop It Up episode 5. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'm now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. What up, though? Q came in all late. You missed all of my news, homie. You missed all of my news, homie. What's up? You want me to give you a quick rundown before I get out of here? I talked about Bruce Campbell pump faking, talking about he was going to retire. I talked about Oppenheimer, how Nolan's calling it a horror movie. It's all good. I talked about who else? I talked about the Mortal Kombat cast and how the freaking producer claimed that he listened to fans and it's gonna be better than the first one. What else I talk about? I talked about the potential plot leak for Star Wars, the new Star Wars movie, and then after that, I talked about I ended it with a nice little discussion. Somebody was saying that Marvel is out, Michael Myers is in. So basically saying that horror movies are replacing Marvel movies in the realm of popularity. And I was just talking about if I agree with it or not. What you think? You agree with? Do you guys? I see there's 2 people in here. Do you guys agree with it? Do you think that horror movies are replacing Marvel movies in the realm of popularity? Do you think people are getting superhero fatigue to the point where they're not watching these movies anymore and they're going to go watch these Marvel movies, these horror movies instead? A lot of this is based off of the Flash's box office blunder, to be honest with you. What you thinking? Anyway, yeah. They may be after seeing the Flash drop. I mean, but yeah, even but the last 3 Marvel movies kind of hit for the most part. I mean, think about it. Ant-Man. Ant-Man didn't hit. Thor hit. Wakanda Forever hit. So, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 hit. So I mean, it's kind of hard to be like, yo, like they're replacing it, but at the same time, like, come on, like the money, the money is there. I don't think Marvel's ever going to get to a point where they're just going to be making absolute $0. At least that's what I'm thinking. Like, I think that they built up so much of a cult following that they're not going to hit that mark. Now, horror movies, on the other hand, if your movies suck, like you're gonna see the drop in support. Look at Halloween. Earlier I mentioned the box office. Like, the first Halloween 2018 made like 200 million, and then the other one made like 150 million or something. Then the other one made like 102 or something. Horror's cheaper to make too. Yeah, I know exactly. That's what I'm saying. Horror's cheaper to make, so it's easier to kind of like double, triple, and 15 times your budget. Like, it's easier to do that. But at the same time, like, I think that we would need to see a long run from horror movies in order to like really say that they're replacing hero movies. Like, we need to see a run of like every horror movie just hitting hard. And I mean, out the gate, I mean, we got Megan, we got Evil Dead Rises, Boogeyman didn't hit. We got a couple movies that came out this year that did not hit at all. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was an interesting idea though. I might revisit that topic with like a panel. I think that'll be a better discussion with a panel. It'll be way more fun with a panel. But Q, you got any questions for me before I skedaddle out of here? You know what I'm saying? Any questions before I skedaddle out of here? Anybody? Anybody? Is there anybody in there? Just nod if you can hear me. Doom, doom, doom. All right, man. I'm taking that as a no. All right, guys. It was excellent that you guys popped up on me. All good, homie. Enjoy your night. Thanks, Q. Appreciate it, homie. All right, man. I thank you guys for tuning in with me. Make sure to watch this video on playback. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. I'll be back next Saturday. Hopefully about an hour earlier, and I have another array of topics. So you are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Hope you guys have a magnificent day, and adios, homies.